Welcome folks, I'm Scimitar and I want to confess. The Archer build was a personal challenge for me, because in vanilla Skyrim, if you decided to play as Archer, you always ended as the most boring and overpowered class at the same time. One click, one button stealth sniper, one shotting everything including dragons from 200 feet and remaining unnoticed because of stupid vanilla AI. But what if I tell you, you can change that once and forever, making a completely different Archer build, aggressive and fast, with challenging, dynamic and even tactical gameplay? Something like this. Meet the arrow of Magnus, arcane ranger that is fast, furious and never hiding from his enemies, overpowering them by insane speed of both movement and shooting, strong mix of physical and elemental damage, and wide arsenal of various control spells and enchantments, giving him ability to fully control the battlefield and adapt to any combat type. Let's take a look. Race Orc. Wait, what, you may ask? Why Orc? Why not Bossman at least? It is quite simple. This class is an aggressive combat class, and he doesn't have insane defensive capabilities as tanks and can just vanish in shadows like assassin. So, he is relying a lot on his damage output, speed and stamina regeneration to maintain this damage, and controlling skills to not let enemies hit him. And for all this together, Orc is the best option ever. Main and unique ability of orcs that will work as a lifesaver, the Shockwave. It is a passive ability that knockdowns and staggers all enemies around you once per battle when you are jumping. Magnus' arrow playstyle is to control and eliminate enemies, not letting them come too close, and at some moments like ambush or other dangerous situations, you can just knock down everyone around you and break the distance. Secondly, orcs have passive 20% bonus to weapon damage, which is great, and 20% bonus to armor rating, which will compensate lack of defense in light armor. In return, enchantments are 20% weaker, but that's pretty, I would say, minor drawback, and you will not notice it too much, as enchanting will be one of our core skills, so you will have its level very high anyway. Bloodlust is a great passive ability that gives you 25% bonus movement speed and quadruple stamina and magical regeneration, gradually diminishing in the next 20 seconds after you enter into combat, giving you great tactical advantage. Orcish Greater Power, Berserk, when activated, gives you double damage, double critical damage, and gives you 50% damage resistance for 15 seconds. What is even more great, while being active ability and so you can directly activate it per day as it is a greater power, it has a small chance to passively be triggered in combat with each of your attacks. And that has a good synergy with our build, as it has much greater attack speed compared to stealth archers. Attributes distribution is pretty simple. Do not increase magicka at all. Increase health and stamina in like 3 to 2 ratio, so like 60% of attributes to health and 40% to stamina. You will not need to use any spells at all, besides maybe some very rare cases of healing, and if you will lack some mana for dual casting distraction spells to charge your arrows, you will see that perk a bit later. Just buy a few random clothes with magic enchantments. You will need them only to once charge the spell out of combat. There are two great standing stones options for Arrow of Magnus, Lady and Atronach. Atronach will give a good boost to your elemental shots, and Lady will give you additional safety in battle, which is preferable. So I would like to recommend you to take Lady Stone. Atronach is second option for very aggressive, who are sure in their microcontrol. Atronach Stone. Corrupted Arcana. Magicka does not regenerate, it is fine, as you simply will not care about that at all. But each enemy death within 50 feet restores magicka equal to 20 times of enemy level. Oblivion Bond. That's the main benefit from the stone. If you have magicka remaining, and you will always have it, spells cost 50% less magicka and are 25% more powerful. The ultimate Eternarch ability is paralyzing the enemy, draining the magicka, and when magicka is depleted, health. Magicka drain effect is useless for you, but you can use this power to paralyze enemy in critical situation and buy yourself some time. The Lady Stone. Once again, I advise you to pick this one, and in this video I also played this lady. Lunar Familiar automatically summons a familiar to aid you in combat. Familiar also scales with your level. Familiar itself will not deal a lot of damage, but his main function is to distract enemies, making them easy target for you. Promotion. Enemies that can kill you with the next strike is slowed and his or her armor is decreased by 500 points. That's another great passive ability that will many times save your life. Eclipse, the greater power, enrages your familiar, making it deal 300% more damage and take 50% less damage. That's a very useful ability to maximize your damage burst when fighting strong single enemy. Now we made it to the most interesting part, the perks. Arrow of Magnus has 4 core skills: archery, light armor, destruction and enchanting. One important note about destruction. Due to class, let's say, specific mechanics, you will not be using spells themselves directly, but passively empowering your shots with them. That means you will be able to level up your destruction skill in combat only when you will take the corresponding perk in archery tree. But don't be afraid, that simply means you will need to level up destruction from trainers in college. This can also be taken as a roleplay part of this build, reflecting first of all a great source for knowledge and a great theoretical skills, only later implemented in practice. So, let's take a look on the perks setup. Archery has 4 big branches in overall and 6 branches in total. We will skip 2 of them because they are 2 both completely sniper oriented and are not useful for this build. First of all, after taking the main perk, don't forget to take Wind Strike. It is a great combat addition to prevent enemies from killing you. When enemy is close to you, you can simply bash him, stagger him briefly and then land a deadly hit on him, which will be 40% stronger. The right branch. Steady Hand. Slowing time when zooming the aim. That's one of the most important perks as well, as it's simply essential for micro-controlling the battle, evade arrows and spells and make deadly shots. Hunter's Discipline is a checkpoint utility perk. Trick Arrows is one of unique perks that allows you to craft elemental arrows to freeze, burn and even knock down your enemies, with a great damage as well. Also, don't be afraid, this perk is not overpowered because all these arrows require very rare ingredients, and so until you are not cheating completely, you will not be able to make like hundreds of them. So these arrows will serve you mostly like life-saving tools and in fights against the bosses. Hunt Together is a great perk in both mechanics and roleplay aspects. With your attacks on a single enemy, you passively summon a spirit wolf that is dealing damage based on your stamina. This effect has 30-second cooldown. Hunt Together has a great synergy with Lady Stone ability, so in each combat you will have at least 2 summons that will distract enemies from you, and on high levels when you will have like several hundreds of stamina, Spirit Wolf will deal also a great damage. Now middle perks. Clean Kill. 20% more damage to targets at full health. Ranger. Can move at full speed with a bow. Focus on the prey. You can't be staggered when holding a drawn bow or reloading a crossbow. As you can see, perks in this branch are oriented on survival abilities as a true ranger should have. Lion's Arrow. That's the main, most epic and unique perk in our build. Use this power out of combat to store the spell you're now dual casting. Shooting fully drawn bow, release this spell for free together with an arrow. Yes, that literally means elemental shots, and you can empower them even more with elemental arrows you can craft, dealing huge damage and combine various different elements. That's a brief demonstration how it's working. Absolutely simple. You take the spell in 2 hands, you charge it, you press the power button, profit. Quick Shot. Can draw bow or reload crossbow 30% faster. Hailstorm. Attack 8% faster for 10 seconds after shooting fully drawn bow or reloading a crossbow. This effect stacks, meaning you can get a total boost up to like 40% attack speed in total if you will shoot continuously. This perk is also a direct damage booster for Lion's Arrow. Crippling Shot. Arrows and bolts slow the enemies by 10% for 20 seconds. This effect stacks. Pinning Shot. Arrows and bolts have a chance to stagger the target. The lower health target has, the higher is the stagger chance. Beak and Talon. Your shots disarms enemies that are power attacking and knock down enemies that are staggered. Perfect Aim. Bolts deal 25% more damage if shot 2 seconds after fully drawing a bow. Crossbows deal triple damage to targets below 20% of health. Light Armor. Here everything is simple. Take all the perks besides the Unarmed Branch, obviously, and also do not take Annoying Mosquitoes perk. Reason is simple, you will always make wide area of effect damage with elemental arrows, and so enemies around you, even if you will not fighting them directly at this moment, will almost never be at full health, burning, freezing and so on. Arrow of Magnus is critically relying on speed, stamina and control skills, and light armor is exactly what you need for speed, stamina and some additional damage boost. Bonuses to speed, bonuses to stamina generation, bonuses to boss, physical and magical damage when in light armor, which is great as you have them both, evading jumps and so on, everything you need for an agile combat class. Destruction. There are only 4 must-have perks here, the rest is up to you. Take the first perk and take dual casting perk to be able to charge the Lion's Arrow. Harsh Lesson is a great anti-mage perk that will often interrupt enemy spellcasting. War of Elements is simply essential, as it is insanely powerful damage booster that will give you 40% damage bonus against enemies that are affected by one of many damage over time or controlling perks in Destruction tree. In reality, that will work almost as a constant 40% damage boost, as you will shoot very fast, briefly turning battlefield into burning ground. Elemental specialization is completely a matter of taste. I personally choose Fire Pass as it has the biggest pure damage output. Also do not take the last 3 perks in Specialized Branch until you will not master the rest of other core skills. Before the very late game, this perks investment is not very worthy of spending perk points, and in overall level of investing in Specialization Branch demonstrated here is enough to have great damage output. Investing in Enchantment tree is simple as well. Only fully learn the Enchantments improvement branch till the very end, that's all you need. But be sure to always rise enchanting skill as maximum and fast as possible, because as you will see just a few moments later, for this build enchantments have a crucial meaning, so you should be able to make them all as soon as possible. When you will have a couple of free perk points, you can also invest them in basic alteration and restoration perks, mostly not for direct spells usage, but to empower your protective and healing buffs coming from a Kata recital. A Kata recital structure for this class is quite trivial. For sure, take the Flash spell to boost your armor and take the 3 Rinse spell from Apocalypse spell pack to give you health boost. Third spell is completely up to you, let's say Soul Clog, Light or anything else useful. Example of spells. That's just what I was using per my taste. Spell choice is completely up to you of course, I am just listing here a few really useful spells for this build. Fireball, old, good and effective. With its simplicity, it is maybe at the same time the best possible spell for Lion's Arrow perk, as it has great damage and this damage is area of effect 1. Incendiary Flow. This spell was demonstrated in the beginning of a video. It leaves that long burning trails on the ground. It is a great tactical spell to deal with large group of enemies like bandits or vampires if you know how to position yourself properly. Ice Sheath. Ice spell very useful for kiting single combat enemies and bosses. Electrosphere. No special effect, but very powerful single target damage and effective against mages. As I was saying before, enchantment choices are very important for this build. Your main investment here will be your weapon. Your class is not the best in miming of defenses if enemies are getting close to you, so obviously the best option here is never let them do this. Thinking from that angle, do not put any damage enchantments, you will have more than enough damage already. Put only controlling enchantments, Summon Wrist offers wide amount of them. Best choice here is to put Engaging enchantment, Lifting enchantment, they both give small chance per shot to incapacitate your target, just in different ways. And the third one, put the movement speed drain enchantment. Remembering that we also have stagger perks in Archery 3. Each of your shots will have minimum 3 different chances to incapacitate your target and give you movement speed bonus. Armor enchantments are focused on survival abilities, speed and of course bow damage. Hood, Death Ward and bow damage. Gauntlets, bow damage and bonus light armor defense. Chest, bonus health and life draining enchantment. Boots, movement speed bonus and stamina bonus. Ring, stamina drain enchantment and magic resistance. Necklace, magic resistance and chance per each second to restore your attributes. Oh, and my friend, you was not thinking I will end this video without a proper combat demonstration, I hope. Let's have some. And of course our traditional constant rubric Visit to Red Eagle. I hope you guys enjoy this build. Feel free to test it in your own walkthrough and of course, write your own thoughts and comments about it and what build I should make the next. Don't forget to enable channel notifications and join our Discord to always stay in touch. See you in my next video. Scimitar Gaming here, signing out.